Today we are going to talk on Lightning UX design process. We are going to cover multiple things. This is the title of the presentation. And little background about myself. You can hear me, right? OK. So today, me and my friend Prag will be accompanying me here. We both will be taking you into a deep dive into what is the UX process is all about. And as we are into the time constraint, we could not able to take you to the complete details, but we will make our best time out of that, and we will make you good shape with presentation and all. So little background about myself. I'm Aditya Potkuchi, working as lead engineer at Grubhub. I have 11 plus years of experience and 15 certifications, and I'm pursuing for my CTA exam. And I run Schaumburg user group, which is suburbs of Chicago, and that is my Twitter handler. And this year, I became a Lightning champion. And you can connect me in Twitter and LinkedIn for any questions or queries or anything related to UX process or anything related to Salesforce. And now Prag will explain about himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Prag, and I'm the Salesforce practice lead in a consultancy called CloudKettle. CloudKettle is a registered Salesforce Silver partner. I run the Halifax Salesforce community in Canada. I also have a decade of experience and hold 6 Salesforce certifications. Lastly, I'm also a co-founder of a program called Salesforce Cohort. I have been recently recognized as a Quip champion, so if you have any questions related to Quip, feel free to reach out to me. All right, so if you haven't seen this slide before, you will be sick of seeing this by end of Dreamforce, but what it essentially says is, Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and please make sure that you always make the purchase decision based on what is currently available as a feature and functionality in Salesforce. OK, let's jump on to agenda today, and I will let Adi to start with agenda.
All right, thanks, Prag. So like I said, today we are going to cover what is UX and some of the flaws that we always see in our real world as well as digital world. This shouldn't be look like this. This has to be in a better way, that type of attitude. Right? So some of the examples that we will cover, and we will explain what is the process that you have to follow for a good UX designing process, and what all tools that you can consider in your day-to-day work. And we will take a small example, like a demo kind of thing we want to show why UX is an important factor when you're designing a system or when you're creating a product. And then we will show you the demo. After the demo, we will show you a brief intro about what all Salesforce is providing us. After that, we will be providing the content that is available already in the Salesforce. So in the audience, how many people are from admin background? How many admins? OK, how many are from development background? Wow. How many are architects and program managers, directors? How many are none of them? All right. If we need to take an exact definition, what exactly mean by user experience? It's a human-first way of designing a product, right? It's not, you can consider the product as a system that you're designing on Salesforce or a web application or a product that an idea come to your mind and you're working on that product and you want to launch to the end user, right? So how you want to give that product to the end user is the main thing that you will consider as UX. So if you consider UX and UX designing, UX is nothing but what you're giving to the end user, interactive way, how he is going to use the product, right? You can consider in a different manner that like you want to see the mental ability of the end user and how he is going to use the system or the application. Say you given an application to the user and it's all confusing to him and he has to spend more time on that. No, you're not giving a good UX user experience for him, even though the product has like n number of features, like a lot of features, right? And what is the designing approach that you are going to take to give a best experience to the user is nothing but user experience design. So like I mentioned, if you're not considering the end user in your entire process, in your designing process, and you're not giving a best product for the end user. So you have, in your entire process of designing to delivering a product, You have to keep one thing in your mind, that end user is the key person, and what I'm going to give to the end user is most important, and how he is going to use the system is most important. If you are not considering that, then you are not following a best user experience design process. Now, coming to the, we want to cover some of the real world flaws. So how many of people see this type of signs when you're entering into elevator? We always see that, right? So you don't know which one is the button, like up arrow, down arrow, which one is the button, unless someone clicks that, oh, this is the button. Instead of showing like this, they can use only 2 buttons, right? Then immediately you know, like, okay, I need to go up means you can click up, you need to go down, you can click down. How many of you see this type of, yeah. We all see this, we all pay attention towards that, and we always feel like who the hell designer or who designed this elevator, right? We always say that. Who all see these type of machines when you want to pay for a parking ticket and you need to get your train or you need to get into your bus? You need to shuffle like, okay, where I need to put my bill, where I need to get credit card, right? These are all like, these machines or elevators are working fine. They are giving end user what they want, right? They are working machines. But the way those are designed is the wrong way of designing, right? They shouldn't design like that. They have to make user life easy rather than wasting their time. This is a real example. It happened in one of the country where it says like, please keep left, but the footsteps are showing towards here. So one of the UX designer posted that in Twitter that this is the best example that I see here today on that evening. So one of the UX designer posted that in Twitter. So we captured that. Excellent, right? Excellent construction. So I don't know what he thought when he designed that plan on his paper. Again, we all love Starbucks, okay? Safe harbor statement. I'm not making fun of anything here, but the designer who designed that onto the van, he's an excellent designer, but he didn't thought of once the door opens, how it looks like. He didn't thought of that. So these are some of the things to make you understand like why UX is important for your real world. Prag, why can't you explain about digital?
Yes. So we definitely want to cover certain digital flaws because most of us are walking, not looking into the road. We are looking into our mobile phones wherever we walk. So we want to cover certain digital flaws as well. So I want to start with this. So how many of you from 1980s, 90s version of Windows? Yeah, Windows Office. So you know Windows are very powerful, but they always give a lot of tools, but at the same time, they didn't do a better job olden days on positioning the tools and the options you get. So when I first started looking into the computer, and this is where I have been handed over, and I don't know how to use a tool to even a copy paste. But then I don't know the hotkeys. So it struggled a lot, and when I was looking for example, this is what I found, and I want to make sure that I want to share this with you guys. So before I move on, I want to position the examples, what I'm going to show here as a digital flaw into 4 different ways. Number 1, that's what I showed you, which is tools. Number 2, a better way of error handling. I believe 90% of people in the room would have experienced this, and specifically when you are in rush, when you are trying to book a table or book an appointment, you will get an error message which you don't know what it means, and you will be frustrated, right? So the better way of handling it is to handle or follow a better error handlers. Number 3, responsive. So how many of you are still facing a non-responsive websites? At least a couple of them in the group, right? So on the left-hand side, we want to take a real example where the website is an amazing and powerful when you open it on a desktop or on your laptop, but if you're trying to open the same thing on your mobile phone, that is how it looks like. So you should be very, very cautious before you make any UX design. You should think about mobility, whether you can use it on a bigger screen or a smaller screen, doesn't matter, it should fit it to the right place. Lastly, a network error, like 90% I believe like would have ended up, even today we always get a network error which says 200 or 300, we don't know what it is. All right, so this is one of the process we recommend that if you follow in a sequential order, you will avoid certain UX flaws. I'll start with number 1. You should always think about what is the problem statement you are handling to make your product, right? As an example, you should always discover why it is a requirement, what our customer is going to get benefited if we're going to provide the solution. So our recommendation is invest more time on doing discovery phase rather than start building it right away. Number 2, define. So you should define yourself that the UX design process or the UX development what you're going to make is going to solve the problem. That is step 1, of course, because that's the requirement. But you should always take 2 steps back and see, okay, what are all the other features I can add as part of this requirement? So that is when you will start defining your solution. Number 3, then you started sketching your product. So again, Adi have some cool slides in the which is upcoming, where you can see different tools you can use to do sketching. But our recommendation is you should sketch either using a physical 3-dimensional paper pen or use any of the cool software tools, but you should start with sketching before you build anything. And then you have to refine it by doing an user testing. So when we say user testing, don't get confused that is in UAT. It is not that. So once you finish your sketching, consult with your consultant or consult with your clients and try to understand whether that is exactly what they are looking for. Make sure you take the time, explain them what they are going to be expecting as a product in a simple proof of concept way, and then start building from there. Lastly, deliver it by having different iterations of your refined solution and deliver it to your client. 10. So now we assume that we started following all the process, whatever we recommended. A developer thinks like, perfect. So I followed all the 5 steps, and my solution is the world's best solution. And again, Adi already asked how many developers are in the room. Of course, everybody agrees that we are the best developers, even though we are friends. I will always challenge Adi that I'm the best developer compared to his code.
Every developer challenges that.
Exactly. It's a developer's mindset. And again, there is nothing wrong. We should have that attitude. That's the only thing which will drive us. Then, as a tester, okay, a tester is doing like, he or she thinks like they are doing a regression testing and have tried all the means, but still they didn't able to break it. So this never happens in a real world, but still, this tester is giving credits to the developer. They say, hey, you have built one of the best design. But once we deliver it to the client, when they start trying to do something, this is exactly what it happens, right?
Accept it, right? We accept that.
So you may think like why we have the last one is because you assume that you are building a dance floor, okay? The purpose of dance and the dance floor is to make sure their feet is visible. But even though if you are practiced to do a moonwalk, if you didn't design the dance floor properly, this is what you will expect, okay? So make sure you are designing it for the right people, and to avoid all this problem, that's where we want to introduce collaboration. So you should collaborate as a consultant or a developer or an even unit tester. You should always collaborate before you deliver the final product. Make sure that you are covering all the test cases. Make sure you are asking, don't resist yourself by asking simple questions. All the big answers are from a simple question, right? So here we are recommending certain collaborative tools, and seeing the timer, we have only 26 minutes, and I don't want to talk about each and every collaboration tool. If you have any questions about the list of collaboration tools, please come see us after this session. Now, in this digital world, and of course using the fancy word for the industrial revolution, we always need things faster. So when you need things faster, you have to develop things faster. And that's when we want to step into 2 technical version of this session, where we're going to explain how you can build a fancy and a powerful UX experience using Salesforce. So now, I want to give back to Adi, and he will cover how you can leverage Salesforce using UX design.
Thank you. All right, so we all started Salesforce using Salesforce Classic, right? Even though some other people are moving to Lightning, we all started using Salesforce with classic version of Salesforce. How many people started using Salesforce from S controls? Oh my God. Oh. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work when I entered into Salesforce. I didn't get a chance to work on S controls, so I could not able to get some examples so that I can put on this slide. But I started my career into Salesforce with Visualforce, Apex language, and all. So we all know, we all used all Visualforce components when we were designing, right? So we are not talking about the point and click things here. So we designed application with using Visualforce components. All these are like different tags, different components I put on one slide so that I can show you. So these are all the components that we used, right? We used here. Now Salesforce provided us equivalent components in one of the weapon you can consider, where you can just use all these components, and they created the equivalent component for us we can reuse. So before I enter into the actual content, I want to show you we all love reality, right? Rather than I explain you like, okay, these are the things, go this URL and do this, and or just read these documents and all. We all love to see demos, right? Real-time example you show me, then I will say like, okay, whatever you're saying is right, and I agree, and I will learn that, right? So without any delay, I just want to quickly jump to demo. Demo also, rather than I take some example and explain, as Prag is a foodie guy, I know, and you want to search for a food, right?
Yes.
Okay, what type of food you want to search?
So today is the concert day, one of the biggest day in Dreamforce. So I would get some spicy food so that I can be kicked and hit a party tonight.
Good. So now, we know our problem statement. So he wants to search food, right? So we want to split this into 2-3 different categories. So search pattern and selection pattern and how you display the data, right? So these are the 3 levels we split up, and we want to explain like in each pattern how you need to think. Say he need to search for food, right? So in the application, say I provided a text box with a search box. Now he want to search for Indian food. So he will type Indian and he clicks search button, right? So is it a good way of giving him an option to search? He can put test, he can put ABC, he can put a JavaScript code inside that, and he can just click search button. Yeah, monkey testing, so they will do that. So that is not a good way of giving end user that he has to think, he has to type, rather than system has to tell him like, okay, what you want? Here are the things that I'm giving to you. In that you select, right? That is the innovative way you can. Say, I used a lookup field on my criteria. So he has to type here, he has to click this magnifier button. Again, a pop-up will come. There he has to search for the item what he want. Then he has to click search button. One way it is good, but multiple clicks he has to, right? A pop-up comes. Again, I need to search, click search button, select that. Then I need to click search button. Okay, but not the right way of giving him the option for search. Say, what if I give him a pick list where he can just select? From my restaurant or whatever the food items or cuisines, everything I'll put on a big giant list box, and I added here, and he need to scroll, and he has to select. Yes, of course, he can type here so that automatically it will select Indian or Italian. If I want, it will go to Italian, but not a innovative way, because once he sees the giant pick list value, he will go frightened like, what I'm doing here, right? What if I combine the pick list value with an innovation, right? Say I want Italian. See? I want Indian. It is giving me, even though I have like thousands of records in my pick list, but it is, as soon as I started typing, it is sorting the results, whatever that I want, so that I can select like what exactly I want. That is an easy way that he can search. What if, after searching for my food, I want to have some selections. Specifically, I want to select veggie food or non-veg food or vegan, something like that. What if I provided him a multi-select pick list? End user don't know by looking at that big box that he has to hold a control button to click non-veg also, so that then only it will select non-veg. See, now I'm holding my control and I'm clicking veg and non-veg. End user don't know. End user don't have that much patience like, okay, he came there to search for something. He didn't came there to understand the system and write a thesis on that. No, right? So we need to think end user. What if I use checkboxes? We all know checkboxes, that's self-explanatory. I want veg, I select veg. I want both veggie or non-veg options, I select pop, automatically the selections will tell that. another good way of representation, the same things as like button way, right? I can select veg, non-veg, vegan. These are the options I want to see with a Indian cuisine, veg, non-veg, vegan options I want to see, so that I want to see my search results. So this is the best way to make him understand the system and use the system, like easy manner, just click, click, click.
But I will hate a system if I get something like this.
Mm,
I have to do so many clicks.
or else I just select this, okay? After doing all this, he want to see the results. Say, I did all that, and I click search button. This is the list I got, all the list of cuisines and food. Now I want to know, like, oh, this one is saying, like, okay, paneer butter masala, fine, but how it looks like, how it prepared. I want to know more details. Then I need to click this view button so that a pop-up will come. There I want to see all the details means, no. Why I need to see a pop-up, again close, again click on one more dish, again a pop-up, understand what exactly the dish is? That's not a good way of representation. The good way is if we combine all these things into one page with a good representation is, right? I provided here, say I'm typing Indian food, you like butter masala, I know. So non-veg item, and he want to throw a party after the session. He want to go to room and he want to call all the friends, come to my room. My presentation went well, we want to celebrate this. So he will select like catering options. Okay, he will select catering and he just click that search button. Then automatically it will display all my, even though it's a prototype, even though I selected it showing paneer butter masala, don't select how come paneer butter masala is a non-vegetarian. No, it's a vegetarian. So this is a prototype, okay? So it's not a working solution, it's a prototype. So if you display like this with image and the description of that and you like it, just click order, automatically your order will be placed. This is the best way of representation, like what he want, why he came here, and what he want, you are getting here. If you include all these things in a standard Visualforce page, like if you are not into Lightning, how it looks like. To make you understand, I created this one, so I included everything. It looks like this, but not the innovative way, intuitive way, right? So we used all these components, whatever Salesforce provided. We haven't written any CX designs or any styling or anything we didn't apply it. Because Salesforce heard from all the customers, all the partners, they said like, you're giving all the things, but our mobile application is looking different, and our web application is on Lightning, and our customers are asking like, why these are like two different things. So do my designer has to spend more time on to copy all your styles, all your, what are the components you're creating? It's a rework and time consuming and a lot of money, right? So Salesforce heard all this feedback from them, and they spent a lot of time, like years of time on this, and they provided us Lightning Design System. So if you go to this website, Lightning Design System, if you are a designer or a developer or a business analyst or a product guy, you will have everything whatever you want to make end user experience better, best, I would say. This is the site you have to land. So what you will get in this website is platforms. What type of platform you're using, if it is a Visualforce page, how you can use Lightning Design System on your Visualforce pages. They explain everything here. You don't need to worry about like how to use and what to use. If you are using Lightning, they explain everything here, how to use Lightning Design System. If you are designing an Android app or an iOS app, what all things you have to consider to use Lightning Design System on your Android app or iOS app. They explained everything, they combined everything here. And also the design guidelines, like how you have to design and what all things that you have to consider when you are designing a system, that also they explained here. Rather than I explain all these things one by one, you explain with your experience what all things that you cover.
Sure, thank you. So as Adi mentioned, SLDS, so how many of you heard the acronym SLDS? Perfect, thank you. So SLDS is, the explanation is a Salesforce Lightning Design System, and I would compare it as a framework where you can add it as part of any platform. It doesn't need to be you have to, you can use SLDS only on your Salesforce platform, but if you're using Heroku and if you are building any other application which is not Salesforce platform based, you still can have the same Lightning user experience by having SLDS added to your application. So as he mentioned, these are all the different platforms you can use, but before I start giving you some examples and the power what SLDS website is providing you as a user interface way, I want to cover the 4 key guidelines what SLDS is solving if you add or if you adopt SLDS as part of your application. Number 1, clarity. It will add a lot of clarity to your application. Number 2, efficiency. It is very efficient because you are not building anything from scratch, right? Think about you have to design a button which should magically change the way it looks if you're opening on an mobile device versus your desktop. So if you are familiar with CSS properties, you have to write the different classes for each and every devices. But when you are using SLDS, it does all the magic and it will take care of it, everything at the back end. Number 3, consistency, which is what I also explained. And lastly, the beauty. So how many of you don't like the Lightning experience? Perfect. This is the answer I was looking for. Yes, everybody understands there are certain lags in Lightning, but Salesforce always evaluates, right? So now it is in the process of evolving Lightning, and I see that most of our clients are enjoying the Lightning user experience. There's going to be a little bit lag, but Salesforce is working really hard on fixing everything, and that's why they have a program like Lightning experts and champions, and Adi is one of them. But anyway, I'll stop giving boring lectures, and I will take you to a quick walkthrough of what are all different components you can use. So as an example, I picked combo box because this is one of the component we used in our demo, and I want to show you within like 10 minutes we introduce and build that entire component because of SLDS. So once we decided that we're going to add a combo box, we landed here and you have to go down and start seeing the code. So you don't have to write each and every line. You go here, there's a reference, you can copy, and then you can refer it in your Lightning Aura component or a Lightning Web component. And then on the top right corner, you have a button where it will take you to the Lightning component page, where this is going to be more explanatory, and it will have a split of your components and controllers. So the example what you're seeing here is on the Aura component side. And again, Salesforce is keep on evaluating, and they are slowly moving from Aura component to Lightning Web component. And when Adi asked the S control, I was in a situation where I have to fix a problem in S control. So I do remember how hard the olden days were. So from S control, a bunch of developers worked really hard to migrate everything to Visualforce, and then most of the developers here know how hard it was moving your Visualforce pages to Aura components. And now Salesforce is helping you by providing more features so that it's easy for you to move to the latest version of Salesforce. So I don't want to spend too much time on Aura components. I want to jump on directly to Lightning Web component and how this website is going to help you having a more interactive way of learning and also seeing the results right there before you start building it for your business processes. So to do that, go to View as Lightning Web Component, which is again a button on the top right corner. And after you click that, 90% of the components, whatever we have on SLDS, have this feature embedded as part of the website. So when you land here, so this is a live interactive editor where you can actually add value, and it started compiling. I didn't click even a button to compile it. It automatically compiles, and it started throwing you error whether you are following the right syntax or not. So, so as an example, I want to show you a quick example. So here, if you see, it's new, in progress, finish. And every time I land on this page, the default value is in progress. Just by changing add track value from in progress to finished, you'll be surprised. When I click run, this is your outcome. So within a matter of minute, you figure out what are all the changes you have to make, what are all the new values you have to add, and once you decided what kind of user experience you are looking for, you can build everything here. And the advantage is you can download it, and once you download it, again, Salesforce is amazingly handling this website. So once you click download, it will download as a zip file, and each and every component will be saved on its respective file format. Isn't it crazy? You don't have to even open it in a Word document and then upload it into your SFTX or VS Code, whatever the IDEs you are using. You don't have to do anything. So everything will be saved on its specific file format. Lastly, they didn't stop it there. The innovation still happens from the Salesforce side. They give you an ability to open it in a playground. So how many of you use the JS Fiddler? So JavaScript Fiddler is yes. So there what you can do is you can have HTML section and then CSS section and then your JavaScript section, and it automatically combines each other and you can see the result right in there. That is the same feature you get it in SLDS website. Again, I didn't download and install any package on my computer. I don't have to set up any IDE. I didn't connect my Salesforce application with my to test what I want to build. Everything is on the fly and everything is on the cloud. So you don't have to set up, or you don't need a setup to start trying anything on your own. Lastly, as I said, Salesforce didn't stop its evaluation. You can also connect your developer or your sandbox directly to your SLDS. So once you do it, and you can actually upload your entire project which sits in your computer, and once you upload it, it will directly reflect in your Salesforce org. So after you make all the changes, if you're happy with the end result, just by clicking the save button, you would have noticed that save button is disabled, because after you linked SLDS with your sandbox org, the save button will be enabled, and making all those changes, click that button will directly impact on your Salesforce org. So it is very, very powerful, and since we have very limited time, we couldn't take you to a complete tour of how SLDS will help you from an user experience designing process. So we encourage you to go play around and try to understand. If you still have any questions, you know we will be here to help you. So after you click this link, this is your landing page, and hereafter you know. Now I want to give back to Adi, and I want to try to understand how he feel after seeing the demo and giving a walkthrough of SLDS.
Thank you. First time, to be frank, first time when I see this SLDS, my feeling is, why it's not working? Okay.
It's a bad UX design.
My feeling is this. I have a magic in my hand. If I want to design something, yes, I can able to do that, just like that. But there are some tools, even though you're not a die-hard coder or die-hard designer or something, but still, there are some tools available which you can use for designing the system. But how many people know? Can you tell someone that what is the best designing tool? Best designing prototyping tool. There are many, right? But for me, the best is?
You are absolutely
yes, that is the best one, right? So anything, any idea or any problem statement anyone tells, just take pen and paper or whiteboard, you start writing. That is the best designing tool. But we are in the digital world. There are n number of tools, and we highlighted here only the tools which are supporting SLDS design system. So if you are a die-hard coder and you write and you love coding, then first one, directly Lightning Design System, using that URL, you can use the system and you can download, because it's an open source, which you can download and you can use. And if you have any feedback, you can directly give feedback to Salesforce. And if you use Sketch tool, and there are some libraries, Salesforce is giving you the libraries directly, you can import into Sketch tool, where your Sketch tool automatically supports all the SLDS libraries. You can download that and you can use. And last two, those two are like, you have to pay for that. Those are paid tools, which are supporting SLDS fully. Mockflow is one of the good tool, not 100% supporting, but most of the components are there. Just drag and drop, rather than you write code that generate HTML and .js file or anything, that supports everything. Avani Creator, that I really like, because It has like all drag and drop, and your design, if you're a designer, drag and drop, designing is completed, you gave demo, everything is good, then you just click one click download, it will download all the HTML, JS file and everything. You can directly give to your developer saying like, hey, here is a code, just concentrate on backend code. Like what are the actual logic you have to implement, just concentrate on that one. That's a very powerful tool. I really liked, I use that one personally. I really like that. We talked a lot, right? We started at UX designing. We started what are the real flaws that we see every time, and what all things available in SLDS and all. Like, can you tell me what is the top 5 reasons that me or anyone has to use SLDS?
Perfect. So I can give any number of reasons, and I started seeing the timer. We have 5 minutes, so I want to stick to 5, and I'll start with number 1 is lightning look and feel, right? So I already asked this question. Most of you said like, yes, you like the lightning look and feel, and I'm not here to argue that whether it's powerful like classic, but the look and feel, I stick to look and feel. So lightning look and feel is perfect. Nobody can disagree with that. Then cross-browser compatibility, you don't have to build anything specifically for a specific browser. It automatically adapts. Doesn't matter whether you are a Chrome lover or a Firefox lover, or I believe someone is still liking Safari. So if you're a Safari level, you don't have to worry about opening your website on any of these browsers. Number 3, portable device friendly. Of course, we live most of our life using our mobile phones and iPads, so it's already covered. Number 4, it's fast loading time. When I say and when I mean fast loading time, like as part of Lightning, everything loads at the beginning, and every time you make an interaction, it won't take back. Like each and request is not going back to the server, so you will get a visual experience of, yes, the system is really fast. Lastly, it is free. You don't have to pay Salesforce to get Salesforce Lightning Design System to build your own app. All right, so here are the resources. So of course, and I believe everybody agrees that Trailhead is always an opening door for you to learn about everything, but at the same time, don't stop it there, okay? So don't think like Parag and Adi told us that after you do this Trailhead module, you know everything. That is not 100% true. So what we recommend you to do it is you go and explore more by looking into Salesforce Lightning Design System website. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Don Robbins, who is with us in the room. So he gave us a very good content on Pluralsight, which is play-by-play Lightning UX design process. And we have the QR code. If you take a picture, it will take you to the place. And feel free to go look into that 1 hour long, but super basic and well explained UX design process. Okay. If you think you didn't take good pictures as part of the slide, don't worry. This is the bit.ly link. Make sure that you take a picture of this, and then you go and download the entire PDF. So the entire presentation will be available as a PDF format, and you know how to reach us. And if you have any questions, I think we have still 2 more minutes to answer your questions, but if we couldn't, we'll be at one corner of this room, and we are open to answer as many questions as we can.
Thank you
so much.